You feel like you're running out of time, like you're already late, like you should already be further ahead. You look at your life and think, I should have figured this out by now. And that feeling doesn't stay in one place. It follows you into decisions, into plans, into how you move. That feeling doesn't come from time. It comes from comparison. Not always obvious, but it's there. You see where other people are, what they build, how fast things seem to happen. And without noticing, you measure yourself against that. But you're not comparing full situations. You're comparing your process to someone else's visible result. You see where they are, but you don't see how long it took, what they went through, what they're still dealing with. So the comparison is incomplete, but your brain still treats it as real. Once you believe you're behind, everything starts to feel urgent, not in a clear way, in a pressured way. You start thinking, I need to catch up. I don't have time. I can't afford to waste this. And that doesn't stay in your head. It changes how you move. You start doing things differently. Not because you choose to, because you feel like you have to. You look for faster options. You think, what's the quickest way to get there? What am I missing? Why is this taking so long? And without noticing, you start rushing decisions. When you feel like you're running out of time, you don't move clearly anymore. You move quickly, but not consistently. You try something, and before it has time to hold, you're already thinking about something else. Not because it failed, because it didn't happen fast enough. You switch directions. You adjust things too early. You don't stay with anything long enough to see it work. This is the part most people miss. The feeling of being behind is what keeps you behind. Because you don't give anything enough time to stabilize. You interrupt your own progress. So nothing builds. And when nothing builds, it looks like time is the problem. It feels like you're doing a lot, but nothing is moving. You're busy, you're thinking, you're trying. And when you look back, nothing really changes. And that makes the pressure worse. Because now it feels like I'm trying and it's still not working. You're not losing time. Time is passing anyway. You're losing continuity. The ability to stay in one direction long enough for something to actually build. Because progress doesn't come from speed. It comes from staying. So why this loop doesn't stop? Because it feeds itself. You feel behind, you rush, you break your own progress. You see no real results. You feel even more behind. Same loop, nothing changes. The real problem is not time. It's the belief that you're late. Because that belief creates pressure. And that pressure changes your behavior. And your behavior is what decides the outcome. You don't fix this by doing more. You fix it by removing the urgency that isn't real. By seeing clearly. There's no fixed timeline. No point where you were supposed to be. Only what you do from here and whether you stay with it. You feel like you're running out of time. But that feeling is what's controlling how you move. And how you move is what decides what actually happens. Not the clock, not your age, not where you think you should be. Just whether you stay in one direction long enough for something real to build.